A new Alzheimer's medication was approved by the FDA. In today's video, I want to talk about, will your insurance cover it? How it's taken, how much it costs, how is it going to affect my monthly premiums, how can I prepare to be able to afford this medication if I ever need it? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Hello everyone, my name is Matt Ragudo and I am a licensed insurance agent and a financial planner. And on my channel, I want to provide you with retirement resources, things about health insurance, Medicare, Social Security, so that you can make educated and empowered decisions based on what you need. And in today's video, we're going to cover this new medication, Leqembi. First, will my insurance cover? Now, that's really important because a lot of people are concerned whether or not insurance is going to pay, and whether or not they pay for a little or a lot really is going to depend on your health plan. But what we do know is that because it's FDA approved, Medicare Parts A and B, in this case B, will cover it. Now, many of you folks remember back in 2021, there was another Alzheimer's medication that was FDA approved and covered, and it jacked up the premiums for those people who were on Medicare Part B. And I'll go and talk to you about the premium and the potential impact that it has later on in the video. But what about if you're on an Affordable Care Act plan or you're still at work? Many times when anything is ever FDA approved and Medicare is going to pay for it, the insurance plans that you have at work, like I have at work, and that you buy maybe off the healthcare.gov or the ACA or through my site on Health Sherpa, those will follow suit and eventually they'll cover it. Maybe not this month, but in the very near future. So you don't have to worry about, will my insurance cover it? But more importantly, as we move on to the next one, how much is it going to cost? Well, the retail cost, or the predicted cost, is going to be $26,500 for a year-long treatment protocol. And depending on your copays, co-insurances, and the plan that you have, that is going to really determine how much of that annual cost you will have to pay for out of pocket. If you're on Medicare, it's under Part B, so you'll be responsible for a 20% co-insurance, which comes out to a little more than $5,000 a year. And if you're on regular group insurance, that's going to heavily depend on your deductibles, your co-insurance, your max out of pocket, and factors that you really need to know your plan in order to find out. Next, how is this taken? Now, for those of you who are versed in Medicare parts, you'll know that because it's Part B, it is taken either in a clinic or an infusion center. And in this case, this medication is taken 2 times per month as an infusion. So for the rest of your life, if you're prescribed this medication, you will be taking it via infusion at some kind of infusion center. Now, what are the parameters as far as what they need, what you need in order to keep maintaining or keep receiving this medication? I said it's a lifelong medication, but you might not be able to remain on the medication if it's not preventing or slowing down your Alzheimer's diagnosis or prognosis. And this is where we get into some problems. So, as those of you know, Medicare Part A and B, they have very clear guidelines. When you move into the Part C Advantage side, or if you're on private insurance, a lot of times you are not in control on whether or not your insurance pays for it, and the guidelines are up to the insurance company. So, if you are someone who is worried about that, you may want to stay tuned to the end where I talk about other ways to pay for things like this if you have Alzheimer's. Next, monthly premium. Now, I know a lot of us are concerned about how much per month we're going to have to pay. And if you remember in 2022, when Aduhelm was added, it actually increased Medicare Part B premiums by 14%, a little more than 14%. And what that means is that people started to have to pay more. And in 2024, that's for recording this video in 2023, will it affect the Part B premium and regular health insurance premium? And I'm going to say that it is not, because Aduhelm was initially brought out to be about $50,000 a year. That has since gone down to about $28,000. So if this is an alternative to Aduhelm, which is the current only FDA-approved Alzheimer's medication, it's not going to change very much, as this option is actually less expensive. But what about 2024? Will premiums increase? Personally, I believe they will, based on some articles that came out showing that the elective surgeries or elective procedures are predicted to go up in 2024, even more so. In fact, some insurers, like one in West New York, actually predicted their insurance premiums will go up by 39% in 2024. So if you want to learn more about that and what you can do to help pay for these things or at least plan for these things, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos where I go over health insurance and those types of financial strategies that you can employ. On that same token, I promised some tips or tools or strategies for you that you can use if you are worried about ever being prescribed this medication and its high cost. The first thing you can do if you're on the Medicare program is be sure that you're on a Medicare supplement plan. That's the ones that cover the entire coinsurance of Part B after the deductible. So it's going to be either a Plan G or a Plan N. And for those of you folks who have the more legacy plans, a Plan F. If you are on a Plan F, I would suggest moving to a Plan G or Plan N just because those plans are relatively expensive compared to the G and N counterparts as far as what they cover. So if you had questions about that, leave them in the comments below and I can provide you with some resources and see if you may qualify for a lower benefit plan that would save you money over the long haul. The second thing you can do if you are currently in a group plan or you have ACA coverage and you don't have Medicare access to having no copays for Part B medications, you can get what's called critical illness insurance. And that's something that I personally own. I own $100,000 worth of critical illness insurance. What that means is if I get Alzheimer's, the insurance policy will pay me $100,000, and that's to cover whatever I need for anything, period, once I have that diagnosis. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not meant to be kind of the chronic protection, but it is meant to kind of ease that bridge as you make changes to your life. The third thing that you can do is, unfortunately, just have a lot of money. Many times, a lot of our health insurance problems can be solved by having money. I'm not saying that that's a good answer, but what I'm saying is for you individually, that might be the best answer, is just have a lot of money and purchase whatever insurance you can, like the critical illness insurance, Medicare supplement plans. And if you have a high deductible health plan at work or a high deductible health plan from the Affordable Care Act or the healthcare.gov exchange, make sure you pick up some kind of critical illness policies in order to help blunt this kind of a large medication cost. Well, I hope that answers some of your questions about the new Alzheimer's approved medication, Leqembi. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.